Yo guys, what is up? It is your boy Snoot back with some new loot, and today we're taking a look at the Envious Lust cosmetic set for Sorcerer. But first, we're going to start with the flavor text. What's yours is mine. Some who are touched by Lilith develop an insatiable hunger for that which is not theirs. Far beyond simple greed, these followers hold covetousness as a virtue and approach the acquisition of their desires with religious fervor. This set will cost you $25 and comes with a full set of equipment skins, including a tattoo, wand, and focus skins. Before we jump into the video, we're going to take a look at the foot decorations, which are a little bit easier to see in the store view than in the game view. Take a look on the left, her right foot, our left. Around her middle toe, you have a gold chain, and if you look at the other foot, you can see why it's there, because attached and wrapping around the front and the heel of the foot are 3 golden chains. So if you think about the theme of this set, why does it make sense? This is an Adam and Eve, Garden of Eden themed set, and those two jabronis would not have been walking around with boots on, so it kind of fits. But to give it a little bit more artistic oomph, you have the tattoos there, which are also green and kind of convey a sense of being in a garden because they're green. It gives a little bit of extra where the boots are missing. Let's take a look at the side. There's an ankle bracelet. There's a collar with medallions, so you do get a little bit. And above that collar, above the collar, you have leaves. Below the collar, you have medallions and chains. Let's take a look at it from the back. So there you go. It gives a sense of opulence and wealth. And we can jump into the game at this point. Stop that. There we go. The strong themes in this set are snakes, apples, and scales. So let's go here. You can see at the apex of the crown, you have 2 serpents. And what I would like to point out is look at the scales. And now look at these scales. In another video where we were taking a look at the Necromancer set, I mentioned that there are 2 styles of snake scales. One is reticulated and the other is imbricate. Reticulated is like a grid where the edges of the scales sit directly against one another, so there's like they're level. But the imbricated style looks like roof tiles where they're kind of overlapping one another. So this is the imbricated scale style. Okay, then you have red everywhere. So these rubies kind of reflect back to the apple. And even on the staff, you've got the ruby there. Now let's take a closer examination of the helmet. What I really like about this set, okay, look at the colors too. So this gold serpent with the ruby red eyes somehow has some green worked in it. I don't know how that green is in there, but I'm sure you can see this green. It may be a reflection. But why would it reflect from the top unless it's the background that it's reflecting off of? So along the jaw, you have unscaled snakes on both sides. Below these 2 leaves, you got the ruby. But let's take a look at the leaves. These are really cool leaves. Look at the veins and how thick they are and how they sit, how they kind of like they sit on top of the leaf. And if you look between these veins at the flesh of the leaf, how it sits under them, looking like real leaves from a shape and texture perspective. So that's really cool. I appreciate that. Now if we go down to the neck, you have a couple more snakes. You have this one, and one in the middle. And then there's something odd going on. And right below these snakes' nostrils, you have what kind of looks like it may be another snake embedded there. There might be an eye here, or I could just be looking too much into it. This is an eye, this might be an eye, and then instead of teeth, you got scales. Kind of strange, but if you take a look at it from the side, it does look like an eye now, doesn't it? So it looks like an occipital lobe, and then a depression here with no eyeball, and then some teeth. But, snakes have fangs, so why would there be teeth there? I could just be seeing too much into it. Let's look at the belt for a second with the snakes there. What's interesting about these snakes is if you jiggle it, you see how they're flopping around? This is not a solid metal belt. It's a rope or some sort of fabric, elastic material with gold plating on top of it. And there's the green again. So it can kind of flop around and move. And then there's all of these chains everywhere across their stomach, and there's a loop in the center. If you look at it from the side, you see more of them. And right here in the back, though difficult to see, there's a couple more snakes. Look at that. They're going all out. So here's the snake, this is the tail of the snake, and that's the head of the snake. Okay, there's a single snake acting as a loop that's holding together the brawl. Interesting. And you would only notice that if you were in this viewer. Look, see, this is what I'm talking about the Blizzard artist being absolutely insane. Okay, so the interplay between the tattoos and the equipment is on display here. If we go down a little bit, see the loincloth? It's a snake. And if you traverse from the bottom upwards, it becomes a spine. And look at her stomach. That spine continues onto her and onto her flesh, up through the collarbone. So that's kind of a new thing for me. And look at her legs, right? So you have the living snake, but in the tattoos, even on the arms, but we're going to take a look at the legs for a second, you got the dead snake. Here's the skeleton of it. R.I.P. Poor snake. Snake, daijobu ka? Snake! Snake! And if you look at the tattoos here, this is a blossom, a flower of some sort. Is it an apple blossom? I don't know, but it would fit the theme. So you have this trifecta, this combination of the apple tree, apple blossoms maybe, of the snake, and of the general environment of the garden. And here you got the scale. So this is the living snake right here, right? So this is the underside of the snake, and this is a live snake. And then you have the blossom, which may or may not be an apple blossom. And then you have the skeleton of the snake. So it's like life and death. It's the whole circle of life going on there. Around the legs, you got more snakes. Snake, snake, snake. How many times is he going to say snake? Well, there's a lot of them. I got to say it as many times as there are snakes. You got the leaves. And this right here is another snake, with the jewel this time being in the center of the head, just like we saw it before. Here. Okay, let's take a quick look at this, because this is interesting. This thing hanging off of the back. It looks like a Y, right? It almost looks like a chalice, but it's not a chalice. I knew this meant something. It was bugging me, so I did a little bit of research, and this is what I came up with. That is a liturgical pallium. I'm going to read what that is from Wikipedia. The pallium, derived from the Roman pallium or palla, a woolen cloak, the plural is pallia, is an ecclesiastical vestment in the Catholic Church, originally peculiar to the Pope, but for many centuries bestowed by the Holy See upon metropolitans and primates, as a symbol of their conferred jurisdictional authorities and still remains a papal emblem. But they're worn in the front, and this piece has it worn in the back. Okay, let's get that off the screen. Just give me a second here. As you know, Satan likes to invert things, turn the cross upside down, wear the holy vestment that contains a pallium on the back. So if that's what they were going for, this is probably what it is. This was probably the intent, if that is indeed supposed to be a pallium. I'm not sure if real palliums are ever worn backwards like this. All right. I want to take a look at the staff real fast. Now, what do you notice about, let's start at the apex. What do you notice about this jewel? It's kind of dark right here, right? And it's irregular in shape. Contrast that to the jewel at the navel, which, by the way, if you look at this part, it looks like horns rising off of the face of a demon. But it also could be the spine of the snake, which extends to the stomach. But this is like a crown, and these could be huge horns with something at the top here. Anyway, that's in the side. And here you have the exclamation point from Snake. Metal Gear, shout out to Metal Gear Solid. You know, when you when the guards notice you, they get the exclamation point at the top of their head. I'm joking. Okay, but let's look at the staff. You have 3 serpents, a roughly hewn jewel, which gives it like a color, gives it a very distinct personality, separate from this jewel here, in that it's rough. And look at the haft. There are leaves growing off of this haft, which kind of makes this, you think of this as a branch. So it could be a branch on the tree of Eden, and the body of the snake is going through its center and extending out the bottom here, but there's only 2 tails. Why are there only 2 tails, if that's what they're going for? Well, let me show you something else. This is the caduceus. And I'll read you a little bit of definition from the wiki page. The caduceus appears in a general medical context in the printer's device used by the Swiss medical printer Johann Frobenius, 1460 through 1527, who depicted the staff entwined with serpents and surmounted by a dove with a biblical epigraph in Greek. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16, here in the King James Version translation. So here you have another tie back to Bible. And let's just get rid of the caduceus. Yeah, there we go. Good job. Good job, Snoot. You got rid of the caduceus. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. All right. Let's take a look at some, oh yeah. Can't forget the apple. Now, what I really love about the focus, you have the serpents, is this apple here. What do you notice immediately about that apple? It is not a pure red apple. It has kind of like a Death Stranding or a Robert Jordan Wheel of Time, Sidon, or like Sidon corruption going through it. Is it Sidon or Sidar that's corrupt? I forget. But the knowledge of the apple of the tree of Eden, what did the Lord say about it? Eat ye of this tree, and thou shalt surely die. So there's kind of this corrupting force that's running through it. So that's really cool. I like that. I like things that contain meanings. Even if it's not intentional, I can find that meaning in there. If not intended, I like that. Take a look at it from a couple of angles there. Oh, look at that light shine off the edge. You like that, don't you? Okay, good. All right, let's switch up the colors. Where's my color palette? There we go. Bring it to the front first. Alright, now let's do it over. Gotta do it right. I like this color palette because there's more contrast than in the other ones. So you got the kind of pinkish and then this kind of steel color, and then the gold above it, contrasted with this other one that we looked at. Everything is kind of a similar color, but this has high contrast. Brings out the detail. Less contrast, everything's kind of just purple, greenish. These details are very important. I like the rim in this color. Alright, let's turn it to the back. Boy, I tell you, when Blizzard starts selling colors, it's going to be lit. Because colors sold are colors bought. So I'm going to have to find out how the hell I'm going to balance my budget. You like how I snuck the word hell in there, didn't you? I'm just trying to stay in theme here. Alright, let's take a look at the tattoo. Let me run around so I don't time out, get disconnected. Here we go again with these very glossy colors that remind me of a Christmas Day candy cane. But let's take a look at this. So, the elements of this tattoo is interesting. As I mentioned before, you have like the dead snake, the living snake, and the apple blossoms, but here at the head, these are almost like demonic horns. So we all know that the snake is Lucifer. And, well, if you think of these as horns in his later form, or at least in the humanized depiction of him, how we understand him, you would expect that some demonic horns, and they come above the eyebrow. You got some kind of leaf action, kind of indicated by, here's a leaf, that's definitely, it looks like a leaf. And then the color kind of makes you see what's down here, up here. So it kind of continues that leaf theme. The scales, the spinal cord of the snake there. Right, okay, now let's look at the colors. Well, first let's take a look at the back, right? Let's look at the back first. Get a closer look. Yeah, we just see the underbelly of the snake. And the small of the back, yeah, this is just the spine. Alright, color palette. This one is particularly washed out. The orange paint, in my opinion, looks bad on every tattoo that I've looked at so far because it just washes all of the detail away. I'm going to do that again. All right, so let's properly face front. There we go. That's better. I knew you could do something right. So that's not half bad, that one. And let's turn it off. Now let's take this bad boy out for a sit, not for a spin, for a sit. That's premium chair action right there, baby. That's premium chair action. Look at all of those polygons and the textured surface. Light bouncing off of all kinds of angles. Why does she keep standing? Look at that. Let's approach it from this side. There we go. Even here, you can prominently see, if you know what you're looking at, that this loincloth is a snake. And I just noticed this, that the chest, that's a Lilith head. Everyone but me has probably noticed this by now, but yeah, that's Lilith right there. Let's take this set out and see how you're going to look in town standing around. Okay, here you are at the chest. Interacting with the jeweler. Bricking your gear. What's the best place to stand? Got to turn my brightness down. Yeah, the brightness is too high. But it would probably be around here. What is that? Is she like having a seizure? What's going on here? Can we stop that? Okay, that's better. All right. Now let's take it into the training grounds. Now everyone, please pay attention. Your attention, please. Transition screen. It plays a small but important role in our lives. Let's give it the proper respect. Hey, you big dummy. How you like them apples? Alright guys, that is the Envious Lust cosmetic set. Again, cost $25. If it's not in the store, you're going to have to wait until the rotation brings it around. And yeah, I love bringing you guys these presentations and analysis. Hope you enjoy them and make an informed decision before you spend your money on these sets. This is your boy Snoot out.